One part of Canadian exploitation cinema I'm surprised I haven't covered more is slasher movies, because it's a genre that Canada's actually made a pretty big contribution to. Not only did Canada make one of the first and best slasher flicks with the original Black Christmas, but in the 80s there was also stuff like Prom Night, My Bloody Valentine, and Terror Train. Perhaps because there was so many of them, here's a Canadian slasher flick that tends to get overlooked. Released in 1981, Happy Birthday to Me was directed by J. Lee Thompson, a filmmaker known for old-school Hollywood movies like The Guns of Navarone and Cape Fear. But if you think that means this is going to be a classy, subdued slasher movie, think again. Not only did it have a poster that looks like it's for a parody of 80s slasher movies, but it also had this memorable tagline: 6 of the most bizarre murders you will ever see. Okay, but it's gonna be pretty hard for this to top the death by giant praying mantis from Dracula 3D. So is this gonna have a memorable theme song like Halloween? Hey, that's not how Happy Birthday goes! This movie may not exactly be a Nightmare on Elm Street, but it does have a guy named Craven in it, and it makes sure to grab our attention right away with a scare. Oh shit, it's adorable. Don't worry though, it's just the teacher's pet. The dog, I mean, not the girl.
Do you know, Bernadette, if you and the other so-called members of the top 10 would spend half the time on your books that you do down at that inn, you could all be in Harvard tomorrow.
Well, it's Canada, so she'll probably have to settle for McGill. Boy, I'll bet all the students love this teacher.
Come along, Winston. Take Mommy home.
Come along, Winston. Give Mommy head.
Oh, I see somebody figured out why Miss Patterson buys so much peanut butter. Anyway, time to get to one of those bizarre murders the poster told us about. Okay, that seemed pretty normal to me. Unless he's gonna do something weird with the body afterwards. Hey, wait a second. The killer's supposed to fake being dead and then come back to life at the end of the movie. Don't you know how these things work? Not that it does her any good, she just runs right into the killer again. Okay, the effect on that kill was pretty good. Still wouldn't say it's one of the most bizarre I've ever seen, though. Meanwhile, the rest of the top 10 students are meeting for drinks at the, Headless Lady Tavern? The fuck?
53 bottles of beer, in one of those bottles of half, 51 bottles of beer. Please, no more!
Damn Shriners, always ruining young people's fun. Now's usually the part where I say the actors are too old to play high schoolers, but Melissa Sue Anderson really was a teenager when she made this, so guess I can't do that this time. This is a meeting of the top 10 who were the most popular students at a rich private school. And if you're wondering why they're so popular...
You bring George? Sure, I brought George. Say hi to George, everybody.
Ooh, I bet the guy with the rat gets all the puss thrown at him in school. Having a rat does come in handy, though. It means the top 10 kids get to play a prank on the Shriners and be cruel to animals at the same time. That'll teach you to have a good time at the same bar as us, assholes. And if you're gonna drive home after a night of drinking, might as well also make a game of it. Last one over the bridge is probably getting a cross on the side of the road.
No, Frank, no! Not the car!
I don't even think this movie needs a killer. I think the characters are just gonna kill themselves.
Ah, stop! Stop it! You'll kill yourself!
See? Told you.
Virginia! Come back! What's wrong with Virginia?
I don't know, she just freaked right out.
Jeez, you almost kill somebody in a car accident and they get all uptight about it. Ginny's been a little upset ever since her mom died a few years earlier, although I don't think burying her in the cemetery from the Thriller video was a great idea.
You'd be proud of me now, Mother. All the kids like me. I'm even one of the top 10. We go everywhere together.
That's great, sweetie, but if you really want to honor my memory, you should try becoming Batman. Uh-oh, looks like this cemetery's also being visited by a Giallo movie.
Who's out there?
Relax, it's probably just another fake-out scare.
You.
I'll walk you home.
On second thought, maybe it's a real one. As if this guy wasn't bad enough, Ginny's dad is Dr. Keller from Scanners. Who's her uncle, Michael Ironside? Ginny also has some problems involving repressed memories, but her dad just tells her to forget about him and push her emotions down. What's the worst that could happen there? By the way, bit of advice, if you don't want people to think this movie's Canadian, don't have wallpaper that looks like the Quebec flag. Even though Ginny has that sweet final girl next door vibe, she still might want to be careful. Yeah, if you think finding a spider in your bathtub is annoying, try a fake-out scare. I can see why Ginny wanted to attend a posh private school. The students there are so charming. Since you wouldn't let me walk you home, I decided to break in and steal some of your panties. Hope you don't mind. Because the characters go to a private school, it's a little different than in a typical slasher flick. They're also taught things you'd expect to see in an 80s teen comedy.
Yes, Mr. Van der Poel, quite the comedian. But the really funny thing about static electricity is that it can be discharged.
Wow, they even teach movie effects at this school. Okay, students, today we're gonna learn about, I don't know, some weird Frankenstein-y shit. I know I already made a Scanners reference earlier, but this flashback Ginny's having makes me think she really was part of a Scanners program.
My birthday.
Jeez, I don't know that giving Ginny a lobotomy for a Sweet 16 was a great idea. Couldn't you just got her a car? It wouldn't be an 80s Canuxsploitation movie without a popular actor slumming for a paycheck, and in this case we have veteran actor Glenn Ford as Ginny's psychiatrist, Dr. Faraday. I don't know what Glenn Ford's death scene in this movie is going to be like, but it's going to be pretty hard to top this. Anyway, turns out Ginny was part of an experimental procedure to regrow damaged brain cells.
You were the first.
A guinea pig.
As a matter of fact, we called you our little Ginny pig. We like to have fun with our mad scientist experiments. What the hell? When did this go from an 80s slasher movie to an 80s dirt bike movie? I don't know what the climax to a sports movie is doing a third of the way through this one, but nice that their friend won, I guess. I know I joked about this guy stealing Ginny's panties earlier, but that's actually what he did. Rat Boy is not happy about this. He wanted to steal Ginny's underpants and ever think he's a creep. Let's see, jockish guy who's kind of an asshole to the other characters in the movie? I'll bet this guy lasts all the way to the end. Okay, that kill was a little more creative. I still think the poster might have oversold things, though. Even though we've already established Rat Boy as a red herring, might as well offer more clues that he's a creep.
God, this place is almost as weird as he is.
Wow, he owns a rat and he's into taxidermy? Man, this guy must just be drowning in vagina. And I'm not just saying that because I think he's building a woman's suit.
What are you doing here? Maybe you were worried about Bernadette. Poor little Bernadette.
Look, we're only 38 minutes in, we know you're not the killer, so just drop the act, okay? Okay, so you're not the killer. You're still fucking weird. Ginny can't seem to catch a break. Even Miss Patterson's on her ass now.
I have to tell you that I do not for one moment believe that 2 of the top 10 could disappear without the rest of you being in on the joke.
If 2 students have mysteriously gone missing, shouldn't you call the cops? Miss Patterson gives Ginny detention, because sure, that'll make him turn back up. No need to call the police just yet, though. The killer's got more victims to get to. And because it's 1981, he's gonna do that by listening to this guy's body talk.
Hey, do me a favor, slap on 10 more, huh?
I can't see anything going wrong here. Now that he has a spotter, this guy should actually be safer. Oh, looks like I spoke too soon.
Can't hold it.
Okay, I know I said this is no Nightmare on Elm Street, but I think Freddy Krueger might have been a fan of this movie.
No pain, no gain.
Well, another student's been murdered, but they're not gonna let that stop the big game from happening. This guy even wore his best Doctor Who cosplay for the occasion. One way you can tell this is a bougie private school, they're playing European football. Nice that they were able to fit another climax to a sports movie in here. No joke, the guy who made the winning goal's name is even Rudy. Ginny is so impressed with his victory that she even lets Rudy take her out on a date to a Hammer horror movie.
I will never forget you, my darling.
Give me a little kiss, Esmeralda.
So, are all the guys interested in Ginny trying not to get laid in this movie?
Virginia, I've got a knife.
We're only halfway through, so Rudy's probably not the killer, but I might give him date rapist. This is one 80s slasher movie where I think the red herring characters might also really be serial killers. Meanwhile, Ginny keeps having more flashbacks, and I think the traumatic event that she's repressing might be this brain surgery that she was apparently awake for. I'd want to forget that shit too.
Virginia, you've remembered the operation. It's coming back piece by piece.
Yeah, piece by piece, just like the parts of her brain they took out.
And then what happened?
I don't know. I panicked. I came here. God, I thought you'd help me.
Look, Glenn Ford's mainly here for the paycheck. Don't expect him to do very much. Fun fact, according to the film's producers, Glenn Ford was drinking heavily during filming and even got into a fist fight with an assistant director. So along with spasms, something about the Canadian film industry in the 80s really made actors want to get hammered. At least somebody finally contacted the cops about the missing students. I disagree though, I think giving Ginny more detention will make them turn up. Oh, never mind, I think they found one.
I think you should have another look at this. Property of Crawford Academy Science Department.
I'm just fucking with you, it's a real human skull. You got a real psycho on the loose here. I know something that'll get your mind off your missing friends. Some good weed. Ginny seems to have forgiven Rudy for acting like a total weirdo earlier. Guess she must have a thing for guys that walk menacingly towards her with a knife. I think the weed might be making her a little paranoid, though.
Virginia?
She's fine. Thinking about all that water just made her have to pee really bad. Here's someone else the movie wants us to think is the killer, but it's probably just another guy after Ginny's underpants. Yep, I was right. Come on, movie, we already know this guy's a red herring. Why are you trying to fool us again? Huh? Jesus, I know Alfie was kinda weird, but that seemed a little extreme. Alright, I guess that's one way to make sure you'll be the final girl. Just kill all the other characters.
All right. I'll be in Calgary in approximately 4 hours.
Whoa, hey, don't mention Calgary or else people might think this movie's Canadian. Ginny's dad's gotta go out of town for a few days, but he promises to be back in time for her 18th birthday.
Happy birthday.
To me, come on, finish the title. There's only one thing that can cheer Ginny up now. Disco. Yeah, this movie may be from 1981, but it's always 1977 in Canada. Hang on, I think I know how to make this even more Canadian.
Wrong night. Everything is alright.
I don't know why Ginny seems so upset. All the boys at school seem to love her. She even goes home with Steve. I guess she must be into his pointy, pro-Jared with an afro good looks.
God, am I ripped?
Are you fucking right, Rip Bud? You know what they say, though, it's not truly a romantic evening until somebody gets poked. Hey, there's the kebab death. Although, considering it happened to Steve, just who the hell is this guy in the poster? Somebody named John, I guess. You know, I'm beginning to think Ginny might not be on the up and up.
Come on, it's time to get up. I want to hear all the gory details about you and Steve last night.
Last night? I don't remember anything.
You know how it is. You have a little too much to drink, you end up brutally murdering somebody. It's all a part of growing up. Meanwhile, Ginny has another flashback. Turns out her mom liked to play chicken on the drawbridge too. The only difference was she wasn't very good at it.
Go on now. Take a deep breath and
swim to the surface!
Okay, looks like the big repressed memory Ginny's been having has something to do with her mom dying, but that's still no excuse for leaving the water running or murdering your friends. Holy shit, I think Marty might be the killer! Wait. Okay, listen, Ginny, we paid good money for Glenn Ford to appear in this movie, and he's contractually obligated to finish it whether he wants to or not. Maybe he can help you out.
All right, look at this. Look!
See, Ginny, you're not a killer, you're just crazy. And also possibly a killer. Here, Ginny, maybe a drink will help you relax. Or fight the assistant director, I don't know.
It's my birthday.
Alright, well just wait until Glenn Ford pours himself a drink, and then he'll get started on your birthday punches, okay? Even if Anne's body wasn't in the tub, she's still mysteriously gone missing, so Ginny must be really good at crime scene cleanup. Oh well, at least the movie kind of admits this is Canada, even if it is just in a newspaper article. And big surprise, all these flashbacks of Ginny's have something to do with her birthday. 4 years earlier, Ginny's mom threw her a birthday party, and that's the source of all her trauma.
Bernadette O'Hara, Etienne Vercourt, Steve Maxwell, Alfred Morris, Greg Hellman, and Ann Thomason. 6 of the richest. Nothing but the best for my little girl.
Rich kids have it so hard, don't they? Well, at least Ginny's mom made sure to provide plenty of booze for her party. Even though Melissa Sue Anderson was the right age to play an 18-year-old, I do think she's too old to pull off 14. After learning all the popular kids went to a party at Anne's house instead, Ginny's mom threw a shit fit when they couldn't get in and then decided to play Evel Knievel over the bridge and drowned. So, wait, Ginny's just mad that she wasn't popular in school and her mom was a lush? That doesn't seem like a very good reason to go on a killing spree. Look, Ginny, even if you weren't popular in school, that's no reason to kill people. Just watch a lot of weird movies and then make an internet series talking about them. Well, great. Now she just killed the most famous actor in this movie.
Ginny! I'm home!
I brought you an autographed photo of David Cronenberg. Jesus Christ, Ginny's periods are really starting to get out of hand. Oh, and she may or may not be a serial killer. Alright, well now we know that girl's gonna live to be in Deadly Eyes. Ginny's 14th birthday party may have been a bust, but she got some people to come to her 18th. She even got Mrs. Bates to come to her party.
Happy birthday to me.
Title drop. Well, look on the bright side, Hal. At least Ginny being a ruthless killer means you don't have to feel guilty about not getting her a present this year. Nope, never mind, he's dead. Okay, now that Ginny's killed everybody, does that mean the movie's over?
Oh,
What?
we can't have you looking all dirty. Not for your own birthday party.
The fuck? What is this, us now? Ginny's got an evil twin?
Now you all know just how crazy little Ginny really was.
Okay. So, not only is Anne really the killer, she's also the greatest makeup effects wizard the world's ever seen. Eat a dick, Rick Baker. Now, if it seems like the movie just pulled this twist out of its ass, that's 'cause it kinda did. Originally, Ginny was supposed to be the killer who was committing the murders after being possessed by her dead mother, but the producers insisted on a last-minute twist ending, which explains why Anne being the killer comes out of fucking nowhere. If you were thinking this is like a Sixth Sense type of twist where there's little clues throughout the movie when you watch it again, nope. So, turns out Ginny's dad had an affair with Anne's mom and they're really half-sisters, and she's mad because that led to her parents breaking up? I guess. Like I said, there's zero build-up to this. Even the characters randomly coming back as zombies at the end of Slaughter High makes more sense in this twist. So after a shocking and nonsensical twist like that, they're gonna need to follow it up with the most outrageous kill of the movie.
You never should have been born!
Oh. Okay, guess once they thought of the twist, they couldn't figure out a way to resolve it.
What have you done?
Officer, I can explain. I was originally supposed to have murdered all these people. While not as popular as some other slasher flicks from the time, Happy Birthday to Me still did pretty well at the box office, making over $10 million. Although the film's $3.5 million budget meant it wasn't as profitable as other slasher movies. $3.5 million? Friday the 13th only cost $550,000. Damn, Glenn Ford must have got a fat paycheck for this movie. Critics at the time hated it, although that was pretty much par for the course for 80s slasher flicks. And like many horror movies, it's managed to build up a fan following over time. And if this movie was as memorably weird as its poster, I'd say it deserves its cult following. But it falls a little short of that. The movie plays with the interesting idea of having the supposed final girl also ending up being the killer, only to toss that aside for a twist that feels like it was added at the last minute because, well, it was. Also, at an hour and 50 minutes, it's about 20 minutes longer than it should be. But the acting is good for this type of movie, and while they're not as outrageous as the marketing would have you believe, a few of the kills are pretty memorable for the time. As you'd expect from a veteran director like J. Lee Thompson, it is well made, even if it is a little sluggish at times. Basically, it's a mid-level slasher movie. It's no classic like Black Christmas, but it's a hell of a lot better than Girls' Night Out. But despite the out-of-nowhere ending, at least this movie was actually finished, which is a step up from the last movie I did. Well, it's all for now, but I still have more Canadian exploitation to get to, including a genre I've never done before, monster trucksploitation. Until next time.